What if you finally beat the game's final boss after years of grinding, only for the system to glitch and send you right back to the tutorial? Meet Chu Ganyuk, a man who isn't just a regressor, he's a veteran player on his 13th do-over, and he is absolutely fed up. He's been the hero, he's saved everyone, he's followed the quest markers, and every single time it leads to a bad ending and a world full of ash. So this time, he's done playing by the rules. Forget being a hero, our boy is ready for a cosmic rage quit. Armed with centuries of meta-knowledge and a worn soul's debuff for his troubles, Gonyuk is about to use every bug, exploit, and dirty trick to break the system from the inside. Because when the gods force you to play their twisted game over and over, you don't just try to win, you become the game master. To see if our boy's 13th attempt is finally the charm or just another corrupted save file, you know what to do. Hit subscribe and let's dive in. The story begins under a full moon in a ruined city. This is the final dungeon, Babel, or the Demon Lord's Tower. It's the stage for an absolutely insane aerial battle. A horned, red-haired maniac plummets from the sky, laughing like a psycho as he screams, "This is the end." His target? None other than Chu Ganyuk, humanity's final and strongest hunter. The Demon Lord is practically drooling with anticipation. He roars that all of Ganyuk's power will be his, before slamming a devastating punch right into our hero's face. The impact is absolutely colossal. A massive pillar of light erupts from the ground, shattering everything around it. When the dust finally settles, all that's left is broken stone and a fresh splash of blood. But wait, just when it seems hopeless, a brilliant golden light starts gathering in the shadows. The demonic man turns, completely surprised. What? There's still one more left? He just smirks, totally underestimating her. With Chu Ganyuk gone, what could she possibly do on her own? She completely ignores his taunts and unleashes her spell, Veil of Immortality. But check this out. Out of nowhere, Chu Ganyuk is back, stabbing the demon straight through the chest. The demon chokes on his own blood, totally stunned. "Why are you—" Ganyuk just gives a cool smirk. "Good grief. Still quick to let your guard down as always?" The demon absolutely snarls, refusing to believe a mere scratch like this could possibly take him down. But when he tries to fight back, he realizes he is trapped. A glowing magic circle has appeared right under his feet. Then heavy, crackling chains shoot up from the ground, binding him completely. He is not going anywhere. And behind Ganyuk, an absolute unit of an avatar manifests. It is the S-rank Zeus, crackling with golden lightning. The demon roars in fury, but Ganyuk just calmly shuts him down. "Who are you calling a mere human? How rude." He gives a condescending smirk. "I have defeated you 6 times already, you insignificant demon lord." With one final explosive blast of divine energy, the demon lord is completely annihilated. And just like that, the battle is over. Ganyuk, cool as ever, just reaches into his jacket for a smoke. He lights one up and takes a long drag, completely unfazed by the chaos around him. What a chat. Looking at the demon's corpse, he just sighs. "Geez, even though you are going to die anyway, you make things so troublesome." He turns to the blonde woman. "Hayonsi. Hayonsi, huh? Nice timing on that shield." But Hayonsi is not celebrating. Tears are streaming down her face. Why didn't he save everyone when they all believed and followed him? She gestures to the bodies of their fallen comrades. "Why did you not protect us?" She screams at him, desperate for an answer. "Why? Did you want to defeat the demon lord alone that badly?" Ganyuk just takes another drag from his cigarette, his face a complete mystery. Because he has seen this all before. 13 times, to be exact. And the outcome of those 13 regressions was always the exact same, total destruction. It did not matter if they lost to the Demon Lord's army or even if they won and cleared the tower. Victory just led to a new war. The superpowered hunters versus the regular humans. Some insane hunters tried to remake the world into a paradise by fusing all human consciousness. The world was destroyed by hunters crippled by trauma, by assassins, and by those who just could not control their own powers. It was even destroyed by elderly hunters protecting their grandchildren and child hunters thrown into the fight way too young. No matter what he tried, no matter the path he took, the saved world always ended in destruction. Gonyuk drops his cigarette. His mind is made up. That's why I must kill everyone. The Demon Lord's army, the hunters, and even his own companions. He has to kill every single one of them. Hayonsi's eyes go wide with pure terror as she realizes exactly what he means. And in a flash, he moves, running her straight through with his blade. But wait, what's this? But the Demon Lord is not dead yet. He grabs Gonyuk from behind, a sphere of dark energy in his hand. "You brat," he sneers. "With this level of ability, did you think you could win?" He unleashes a massive explosion of dark power, completely engulfing them both in the blast. When the smoke clears, Ganyuk has been impaled by one of the Demon Lord's fiery black tendrils. He is thrown back hard, coughing up a massive amount of blood. This looks bad. The Demon Lord starts mocking him, but Ganyuk mutters that he was able to defeat him by his 10th regression, but this time he decided to deal with the hunters first. He starts rambling. Was it because he gave up the divine spear Longinus on the 65th floor? Maybe if he had the Asura King and Uranus Avatar combo, things would have been better. Wait, the Demon Lord is the one who is baffled now. How could Ganyuk possibly know about things like Longinus? Ganyuk just smiles through the blood. I told you, didn't I? I have beaten you 6 times. It seems the Demon Lord is finally down for the count, but something is not adding up. With his last breath, the demon just laughs. You are amusing right to the end, but your nonsense ends here. Ganyuk looks down, defeated but somehow resolute. I am sick of this too, he whispers. I will end it just like you want. But he activates one last, desperate power. With a terrifying grin, half his face turning into a flaming skull, he vows to annihilate both sides just to see if this cursed regression will finally end. Alright folks, sit tight for a quick history lesson. In the year 20-something, a colossal demon lord just appears out of nowhere, casting a shadow over the entire city. And this guy is not here to make friends. He straight up declares that all of humanity is about to be swallowed by terror. The demons have arrived and their only goal is total extinction. As you'd expect, absolute chaos erupts. People are screaming, running for their lives through the streets as the world begins to crumble. And this isn't just one city getting wrecked. Nope, the entire planet is under a full-scale demonic invasion. Then, a beam of light came down from the sky, and suddenly, 2,888 dungeons pop up all over the globe. And what comes out of these dungeons? You guessed it, an endless, roaring horde of monsters, charging straight for what's left of humanity. Humanity's armies mobilize, ready to fight back. One soldier looks a little nervous, but his buddy tries to lighten the mood, joking about how the monsters can't even read their language. The command is given, and they unleash everything they've got. A massive barrage of missiles and artillery rains down on the monster horde. But it's completely useless. Through the smoke and fire, the monsters emerge without a single scratch. They charge forward, casually swatting bullets away with their busted-looking weapons like they're nothing but annoying flies. It's a one-sided slaughter. The soldiers are brutally torn apart, and the few survivors can only scream in terror, yelling for a retreat. This is an absolute massacre. It turns out modern weapons can't even put a dent in these things. With nowhere left to run and their defenses crumbling, the front lines are completely collapsing. But just as humanity was drowning in pure hopelessness, a new type of warrior has appeared to turn the tide. They are known simply as hunters. These hunters are awakened humans who can summon and control powerful secondary selves called avatars. Their forms vary depending on a hunter's talents and personality, each avatar packing some serious world-breaking power. With the arrival of these god-tier warriors, humanity finally has a fighting chance. It was a brutal war that cost 1.1 billion lives, but humanity finally managed to eradicate the monsters. They thought they had finally won and started entering the dungeons. But just as they start to celebrate, a shocking system message appears before everyone. It reads, Stage 1 tutorial cleared. The entire devastating war, all those lives lost, was just the tutorial. The real game was just beginning. And right on cue, a brilliant light shines down from the heavens and a divine voice calls out to the battered survivors of Earth. An actual angel descends from the light, introducing herself as the Archangel Metatron, and surprised, she has a little request. She explains that the angels have also been fighting the Demon Lord's forces, but they're losing. They need humanity's help to win. The new mission is simple. The strongest hunters must ascend the final dungeon, a massive tower called Babel, and defeat the Demon Lord waiting at the very top. But of course, there's a catch. If they don't clear Babel within 20 years, even stronger monsters will be unleashed, and the entire dimension will be wiped out for good. It's not all bad news, though. Metatron reveals that inside Babel, hunters can become infinitely stronger, and the angels promise to give them their full support. With the blessing of the gods themselves, humanity won't have to face this impossible challenge alone. Flash forward to the present day, and we're in a dungeon where some hunter is getting absolutely wrecked. He's screaming for help because his attacks aren't even tickling this goat-headed monster. His teammate yells back that he's already giving it his all, telling the guy to try blocking for once. But he knows if this keeps up, their whole team is toast. Just then, an even bigger beast charges in, and the entire party panics. It's every man for himself as they all scream and scatter. One hunter, Chuganyuk, is completely frozen with fear. He's screaming his head off, terrified of dying in a place like this. But suddenly, boom! It's like his entire body gets zapped with 1.21 gigawatts of electricity. He trips on a rock and tumbles through the air before crashing hard onto the ground. As a hulking monster looms over his unconscious body, someone screams at him to get up, calling him an idiot for just lying there. Wrong move, buddy. All that screaming now makes him the monster's new target. And bam! The other hunters are completely stunned. The Minotaur turns towards them. Seeing the enraged beast, what's left of the party does the only logical thing. They scream and run for their lives in every possible direction. And who do we see lying in the crater? It's the regressed Chuganyuk. He lets out a sigh. He almost died the second he got there. A status window reveals the truth. He's over 200 years old, and this is his 13th regression. He casually gets to his feet and walks over to the dead body of the hunter who was just screaming a moment ago. He looks down at the corpse with zero emotion. He basically thanks the dead guy for taking on the aggro minotaur so he didn't get trampled. Suddenly, he calls to a futuristic holographic assistant that materializes in front of him and orders it to analyze the battlefield and give him a full report. Just as he squats down, another group of hunters rushes in, apologizing for being late to the party. One of them is freaking out, saying they've already lost 2 people. Another guy points at Ganyuk, who's just chilling next to a corpse, but his friend tells him to just ignore the weirdo. But a young woman with long blonde hair, Ha-Yansi, seems to recognize him. She quietly asks, "Big brother?" Ganyuk just smirks and pulls out a blood-stained pack of smokes. He looks at her and says, "Bingo." He then proceeds to calmly light up a cigarette, taking a long, slow drag like he doesn't have a care in the world. He exhales a cloud of smoke with a satisfied grin, saying nothing beats a good smoke after a regression. This guy is on a whole other level. With his cigarette lit, he pulls up a series of holographic displays to get a proper read on the situation. He quickly analyzes the boss, a berserk minotaur with only E-rank strength, and checks out the party composition. 7 vanguards, 4 rear guards, and of course, Ha-Yansi. Ha-Yansi rushes over to him, calling him big brother and begging him to get back before he gets hurt. Meanwhile, another hunter is getting absolutely pummeled by the minotaur. He turns and yells at Ganyuk to stop spacing out and actually help them. He can't believe what he's seeing. He screams at Gonyuk, asking if he's seriously smoking in the middle of a boss fight. Gonyuk just tells the guy to chill out. He says, "Just give me 2 more minutes. I'll kill that thing for you after I finish this." The hunter is furious, screaming at him to stop messing around or he's gonna get them all killed. But Gonyuk completely ignores him, taking one last slow drag from his cigarette. He then stands up and starts walking towards the fight. A frantic Ha-Yansi calls out, asking where he's going. "Don't go," she pleads, telling him he's going to die if he gets any closer. As he approaches the minotaur, Gonyuk realizes his current body is too slow to track its movements. Looks like there's only one option left. He's gonna have to predict every single move. The minotaur lets out a furious roar, tightening its grip on its massive weapon, ready to attack. And Gonyuk's response? He just smirks right back at it, completely unfazed by the killer intent. He lunges forward in a blur of motion, instantly slashing the minotaur's hand and forcing it to drop its axe. With a wild laugh, Ganyuk yells, "That's more like it," before unleashing a furious storm of slashes all over the beast's body. A crazed, bloodthirsty grin spreads across his face as he uses the momentum to leap high into the air right over the monster's head. And with one single brutal downward slash, he smashes the minotaur to the ground. Standing over the corpse, he scoffs at the other hunters. He calls the boss pathetic and wonders how they could possibly struggle against such a weakling. But his victory celebration is cut short. Suddenly, his eyes go wide with pure shock as something grabs his leg with a bone-crunching sound. Ganyuk cries out in pain. The monster has his leg in an iron grip, and it looks like he's not planning to let go anytime soon. His party members are freaking out, screaming that the minotaur is still alive. Ganyuk is furious at himself. He totally miscalculated. With his nerf stats, a one-shot was impossible. The revived minotaur growls, ready to turn them all into paste. But suddenly, he lets out a massive roar. Ganyuk just stuck his sword through its eye. He whispers a threat, and with an upward slash yeets the minotaur's eyeball up into the air. And boom! A system message flashes confirming Hunter Chu Ganyuk landed the final blow on the Berserk Minotaur. The result screen is insane. Ganyuk dealt 82% of the total damage by himself, earning a new title and a rare skill coin. He stands victorious over the beast's corpse, a total Chad moment, but his triumph is cut short. The adrenaline wears off and the searing pain from his back sends him collapsing to the ground. His teammates rush over and one of them points out that his knee is completely shredded. They try to help, but he's just ticked off at himself for making such a rookie mistake. Suddenly, Yansi pushes through the group, running straight to his side. She immediately activates her unique skill, Healing Flower, covering his busted leg in a warm green light. Tears stream down her face as she begs him to wake up, worried about having to tell everyone back at their orphanage. As she pleads for him to live, a single tear actually rolls down his cheek. Then, his finger twitches. He's coming back. He opens his eyes, looks right at a shocked Yansi, and starts teasing her for being such a worrywart. He knows her well. This is Yansi, a kind girl he grew up with at the same orphanage. Now that the coast is clear, the raid leader, Park Jundae, steps up to talk to the exhausted party. He announces that it is finally time to distribute the rewards. Holographic windows pop up in front of everyone, showing their cut of the loot. Ganyuk takes one look at his screen and sees a pathetic pile of coins and monster junk. He scoffs, calling the whole thing a complete joke. Jundae asks what he said, and Ganyuk calls him out for only handing out the worthless junk. Then he turns, holds out his hand, and says, "Give me my skill coin." For anyone who does not know, skill coins are insanely rare items that grant permanent skills and are worth a fortune. Jundae just smiles awkwardly, but another party member completely loses it and starts screaming at Gonyuk. He gets right in Gonyuk's face, accusing him of kill-stealing just to hog the rare drop for himself. Gonyuk is totally unfazed by this. He calmly asks if the guy has a dog in his chest or something. Then he smirks and adds that every time the dude opens his mouth, he just sounds like he is yapping. Oh, that was the wrong thing to say. The hunter absolutely roars with rage. He throws a haymaker, screaming that he is going to shut Gonyuk's mouth for good. But just before it lands, a hand shoots out and stops the punch cold. It is Park Jundae, telling him to calm down. But check this out. His hand has turned into solid bronze. Gonyuk recognizes it instantly. That is the signature skill of the bronze giant Park Jundae, bronze skin. Jundae turns to Gonyuk and actually apologizes, admitting he got greedy and broke the rules about contribution. He holds out the skill coin for one-hit kill and tells Gonyuk to take it. Gonyuk just takes the coin, not saying a single word. He and Yancy turn and walk away, leaving the blonde hunter fuming about who Gonyuk thinks he is. But before Jundae can do anything, another guy grabs him by the collar, furious about the skill coin. He cannot believe Jundae just gave it away. Someone yells at the guy, Park Sang-min, to cut it out. Jundae just laughs, saying there is no need for comrades to fight like this. But then his face gets serious. He says it was not his decision. He was just following the rules. Sang-min gives him a death glare before scoffing and smacking his hand away. He points right at Jundae and warns him that his cocky attitude will get his metal head shattered one day. Then he starts yelling at Gonyuk and Yonsi, reminding them that people kill each other for scraps in this world. He tells them to change their attitude or they will end up dead. Gonyuk's response? He just flips him off without even looking back. As they walk away, Yancy starts to worry, asking if making enemies like this will get them blacklisted from raids. He just tells her it does not matter. He never planned on sticking with those losers anyway. He looks at her with a smile and says, "Just you and me are more than enough." She blushes at this comment while he pulls out a cigarette and a lighter. He takes it, lights up, and takes a long drag. Yancy looks at him, surprised. She says she never knew that he smoked. He just gives her a faint smile, letting the smoke curl from his lips. He playfully pats her on the head and tells her she would be just as adorable even if she resurrected 10 times. She is completely flustered, asking him why he is saying stuff like that all of a sudden. But as he takes another drag, his expression changes. A dark memory is coming back. It is a vision from a past life. He is holding a dying Yonsi in a field of skeletons. He remembers her final moments, with blood dripping from her mouth. His thoughts turn dark as he looks back at the healthy, vibrant girl next to him now. And he thinks to himself, this time, I wonder when I will have to kill you. We open on a scene at the orphanage. A kid is floating in the air and laughing, playing around with an avatar named Icarus. They're literally floating around the room, but one kid knows the party's about to end. He warns them they're all in trouble if big sister Yanzi shows up. And speak of the devil, Yanzi storms in, absolutely furious. But one of the kids has a death wish, calling her the gang hag to her face. Yanzi is not having it. Who are you calling a hag? She yells. I'm still a fresh 19-year-old. She goes on a rampage down the hall, screaming for them to wait. They rush past a door with a sign that reads Gonyuk's room, and Gonyuk's holed up inside. He's pulling up his status window. This is the 13th regression, he thinks. He's been stuck in this time loop for hundreds of years. The endless cycle has given him a nasty Worn Souls debuff, tanking his mental power. He feels like he's hit the absolute limit of what a human can achieve. With a tired sigh, he wonders if this will finally be the last run. But there's no time for despair. It's time to get to work. He summons his personal avatar, Observer. See, both hunters and avatars have hidden potential, but unlocking it is a total gacha game. You have to spend coins with no guarantee of what you'll get. But after 13 lifetimes of trial and error, Gonyuk has found the answer. He pulls up his inventory, showing 82 precious coins. And without a single moment of hesitation, he dumps all 82 coins into strengthening Observer. He's going all in. A smile creeps across his face. He just dropped the equivalent of 32 million won worth of coins in a single click. What a chad. The investment pays off immediately. Observer hits level 9 and a brand new option unlocks synchronizations. He immediately starts the process. Observer materializes and places a hand on his chest, ready to begin the sync. But the second she connects, she recoils in absolute shock. The sheer amount of information flooding into her is overwhelming. Gonyuk is not letting her stop. He grabs her wrist, forcing the connection. There's no time. He growls, commanding her to read the memories of her own future. A massive surge of power erupts from them, and a system notification pops up. Observer just acquired the unique skill Forced Awakening. Observer drops to one knee, her potential now fully confirmed. Good, Gonyuk says, pleased with the result. He immediately puts his new skill to the test, unlocking Observer's second ability, Prediction, and he's not done yet. Next, he has her use her third ability, Detection, to scan the entire area for hidden enemies. She's already hit her limit for now, but it's more than enough. Everything is going exactly according to his plan. He dismisses Observer and heads for the door. The prep phase is over. It's time for action. Meanwhile, outside the orphanage, a group of armed thugs are gathering in the darkness. Looks like trouble's here. They're here for Ganyuk, angry that he supposedly took all the skill coins for himself, and one dude with a massive axe looks ready to start swinging. One of the goons is getting cold feet, reminding everyone that Ganyuk soloed a minotaur. But a mysterious hooded figure tells him to relax, saying a surprise attack can kill anyone. The leader of the group just smirks, ordering the hooded man to show off his avatar predation. The hooded man is already dreaming of the future. He plans to devour both Ganyuk and Yanzi's avatars to finally hit B rank. But his daydream is cut short by a sudden grunt of pain. Before anyone can react, Ganyuk is already there, silently stabbing one of the thugs from behind. He pulls the bloody knife out and casually comments, "Humans have too little muscle. There's no satisfaction in stabbing them, cold as ice." The axe wielder completely loses it, screaming his fallen comrade's name, Juno, before lunging straight at Ganyuk. Their weapons clash with a loud clang. The axe wielder sneers, calling Ganyuk a gutsy little thief. He mocks him for being weak, but Ganyuk just smirks back. "If you want to show off your strength, go join a sumo gym." Ganyuk effortlessly dodges the massive axe swing. His stats might be at level 1, but his centuries of combat experience are still there. He uses the big guy as a meat shield, then instantly takes out another goon with a perfect stab to the back. Too easy. His precision, technique, and battle IQ are on a completely different level than these hired thugs. Two more jump him from the air, but Ganyuk is already a step ahead, weaving through their attacks and cutting them down in a blur. He knows that in a human versus human fight, he's basically unstoppable. The few guys left are absolutely terrified. The axe wielder steps up, telling the hooded captain to back off and let him handle this. He lets out a furious roar and summons his own avatar. He screams its name, Ungoliant. The axe wielder unleashes his trump card, a grotesque spider-like beast that looks like it crawled out of a nightmare. With multiple glowing red eyes and a mouth full of fangs, this thing is 100% nightmare fuel. But even Ganyuk, who has seen it all, just smirks at the sight. "That's not an avatar," he scoffs, "that's just a monster." His opponent screams for Ungoliant to tear him to shreds. The beast charges forward in a whirlwind of razor-sharp legs, ready to attack. The axe-wielding thug sicks his monstrous avatar on Ganyuk, ordering it to tear him to pieces. But check this out. Ganyuk just smirks. He's not even a little bit scared of this thing. It's his turn. He summons his own avatar, Observer, who appears behind him in a flash of blue light. Observer's eyes start to glow. It's time to activate its secondary skill, Prediction. A digital HUD pops up, scanning the enemy avatar and breaking down its every single move. The scan finishes and a red arrow appears showing the trajectory of the next attack. Then he dodges it like it's nothing. He calls the attack a simple burst of speed. What a flex. Thanks to Observer, he's weaving through a storm of deadly blades like it's a choreographed dance. He even has time to taunt them with a cocky grin, shouting, "Come at me however you want." The thug is absolutely losing it. He can't believe what he's seeing and just curses in frustration. He sees the next wave of attacks. Ganyuk moves in a blur, slicing through the avatar's limbs with just a small knife. He lands without a scratch, surrounded by the chopped up parts of that once terrifying monster. The thug screams out, "Impossible," as Ganyuk flies through the air. And in the blink of an eye, he's right in the thug's face, a blade flashing across his throat. The thug collapses and his avatar fades away. The hooded leader just stares, wondering why Ganyuk is even here. Suddenly, a voice pipes up from right behind him. You ask why? For the same reason as you guys. It's Ganyuk. He calls the leader a murderer and launches himself forward in a lightning-fast dash. The hooded man just scoffs, sneering that Ganyuk's time for talk is over. But wait, his confident look turns to pure confusion as he starts fumbling inside his cloak. He's frantically patting himself down, trying to find his weapon. Ganyuk just smirks. "The thing you're looking for? Is this it?" And bam! Ganyuk holds up the pistol he'd already swiped from him. He casually wonders why they have guns that are useless against monsters. One of the thugs tries to order a retreat, but it's way too late. A single gunshot rings out. A system window pops up, activating Master of All Martial Arts. Ganyuk unleashes a storm of bullets with god-tier precision. With a grim smile, he mows down the last of the henchmen. It's a total massacre. And just like that, he's the only one left standing, calm in the middle of all the carnage. He walks over and kicks the hooded leader, who was just playing dead. "What are you doing? It's obvious you're not dead." The leader tries to activate a skill, but Ganyuk is way faster. He pulls the trigger without a second thought. His face is completely emotionless as he says, "You should have killed me last time." But the bullet stops. The man's hand turns to solid bronze, and his hood falls back, revealing the raid leader, Park Jundae. Ganyuk calls him out on his entire plan to kill him and Yansi and frame someone else. Jundae just stammers, trying to deny it all. Ganyuk presses the gun right to his forehead. "Are your eyeballs made of bronze too?" Jundae is terrified, begging for his life. But Ganyuk knows everything, even that Junde is part of a secret organization called the Giants. Junde is completely floored. "How do you know that?" he screams. Ganyuk leans in close, his eyes burning with intensity. "Tell the Giants this. Scum who sold their souls for petty rewards will meet a miserable end." And he adds one last, chilling line. "The Savior hates small-time players." Junde is just stammering in confusion. "Is that your answer?" Ganyuk asks, before firing the gun. The shot blows out Junde's eye, and he just screams in pure agony. While Junde is writhing on the ground, Ganyuk casually lights a cigarette, his face splattered with blood. What a Chad. But the torture isn't over yet. He puts a foot down on Junde's chest. He presses the gun right up against Junde's other eye as the man desperately pleads for mercy. "What should you tell them?" Ganyuk asks. Through the pain, Junde manages to recite the warning, word for word. He gets to the end of the message, "The Savior hates small-time players." "Good memory," Ganyuk says with a smile that'll send shivers down your spine. "Get lost already," he says, landing a few shots on the man's metal body. Junde quickly whirls around and makes his escape. Ganyuk takes a long drag from his cigarette. The fight is finally over. And right on cue, a system window pops up. He's defeated the killer gang and unlocked the Soul Duel achievement. Not only that, he's also earned a brand new title, Death's Edge Duelist. Awesome. Alright folks, another day, another orc dungeon. Corpses are piled high as far as the eye can see. Our boy Ganyuk finishes off the last one standing with a brutal swing of his baseball bat, and that crunch is just nasty. And down he goes. The final orc hits the floor, joining the rest of his fallen squad. But wait, he's not alone. This absolute unit of an orc warrior drops his weapon and starts begging for his life, promising he'll never attack humans again. Ganyuk, cool as a cucumber, just leans on a dead orc's helmet, calmly considering the offer. He strikes a deal, answer one simple question, and the orc can walk free. The monster sees a glimmer of hope and eagerly agrees. Then Ganyuk hits him with the most random riddle ever. What's a red firecracker that explodes in 1 second? The poor orc is completely baffled, sweating bullets as it tries to figure out this bizarre question. But Ganyuk isn't waiting for an answer. He activates his skill, one-hit kill. With a savage grin, he brings the bat down hard, completely obliterating the orc's head in a spray of gore. "Your head, you idiot," he sneers, as a system message confirms the entire orc warrior squad is eliminated. What a savage. Standing over the fresh corpse, Ganyuk is showered with system notifications for his absolute domination. Watching from the sidelines, Yancy looks a little concerned. "Isn't that a bit too much?" she asks quietly. Ganyuk just scoffs at her. "They're all destined to die soon anyway. You'll get used to it after a year. Talk about cold." He checks his rewards, snagging 5 navy coins as his avatar observer materializes right behind him. He immediately activates his Forced Awakening skill, unlocking a brand new ability called Mind's Eyes. And check this out. A system message announces that Observer's ultimate ability has finally been unlocked. Observer's visor begins to glow, revealing a brilliant, intricate blue eye shimmering with insane power. "All right," Ganyuk says, looking totally satisfied. "This should finish the preparations." Yancy tells him they've got everything they need and it's time to head back to Seramu Academy. But then he stops, adding that they won't be able to go back for a while. Yancy is understandably very confused. He asks if she noticed the extra luggage they brought. And as she answers, a glowing red magic circle erupts right under her feet. Yancy gasps, suddenly realizing what's happening. "Yeah, this is it," Ganyuk confirms. A title appears, Tower of Babel's Great Summoning. Things are about to get real. So get this. The Demon King of Babel periodically selects awakened ones and just yanks them into his tower against their will. And the number of survivors from this event so far? A big fat 0. All around them, people are panicking, screaming that they don't want to go. Meanwhile, an angelic being is watching the whole thing unfold in a crystal ball. This is the 7th summoning. She knows that all the hunters with the potential to actually defeat the Demon King have been gathered this way. The Archangel Metatron closes her eyes, praying, "This time is our last hope." But a younger, fiery-haired angel in full armor steps forward, oozing confidence. "Don't worry, Great Archangel. I will train these humans into the strongest weapons." Metatron tells her she's counting on her, but can't shake a weird feeling of déjà vu. Back in the summoning circle, Ganyuk's face is set with pure determination. He makes a solemn vow to himself, "This time I'll save the world for sure, no matter what sacrifice it takes." Sometime later, Hayonsi slowly begins to stir, her eyes fluttering open. She wakes up to find Ganyuk sitting right beside her. "Did you wake up?" he asks calmly. She looks around the massive, unfamiliar hall, totally disoriented. "Big brother, where is this place?" The hall is huge, packed with dozens of other summoned people, and every single one of them looks just as lost and terrified. Inside Babel, Ganyuk answers simply, like it's no big deal. He explains that everyone here are the other awakened who were selected by the tower. The atmosphere is incredibly tense. Some people are openly weeping, while others are already eyeing each other with suspicion. Yancy scans the room, noting, "It feels quite hostile here." She also finds the small number of people strange. Isn't the great summoning supposed to involve hundreds of thousands? There aren't even 500 people here. The rest should be dispersed in other sectors, Ganyuk replies, already knowing how this works. He explains that Babel is divided into sectors by floor. The higher you climb, the fewer people you'll see. Yonsi nervously asks what they're supposed to do now. Gonyuk just tells her an explanation should be coming right up. "It's about time," he mutters. Suddenly, a massive explosion of purple energy erupts in the center of the hall. A horned demon in a purple robe descends from the ceiling. "Welcome to the Tower of Babel." He introduces himself with a terrifying sharp-toothed grin. "I am the Demon King's faithful servant, Krusty." The entire crowd immediately panics, realizing they're face-to-face with a real-life demon. Krusty floats above them, looking down on them like bugs. "For insects who know nothing, I'll kindly explain the rules of Babel's first floor." He holds up a single long finger. Rule number 1. A blue system window pops up in front of everyone. The first rule is that all humans will be ranked based on their performance. You get points for killing monsters, with bigger rewards for named monsters, bosses, and clearing entire dungeons. Then Krusty drops the other shoe. After 3 days, among the 200 people here, those who can't make it into the top 50 ranking, I'll kill them all, he finishes, his eyes glowing with sadistic glee. This just became a death game. But one of the hunters isn't having any of it. "Don't mess with us," he shouts, pointing right at the demon. He boasts that there are plenty of strong hunters in the room, and they'll crush Krusty if he keeps acting so cocky. But before the guy can even finish his sentence, Krusty just flicks a finger and the hunter is instantly electrocuted by shadowy tendrils. The other hunters scream in pure terror as the man drops dead right in front of them. Watching the carnage, Ganyuk's expression is grim. He recognizes this demon, the strongest among the 4 heavenly kings in the demon army's number 2. The demon just floats there, surrounded by crackling purple energy, a sinister smile plastered on his face. "This is Lightning Heaven's Krusty, and he's not here to play games." Krusty doesn't waste a single second. He instantly obliterates one of the hunters, sending a shower of coins flying from the poor guy's body. With a wicked grin plastered on his face, Krusty announces rule number 2. Turns out, when a human dies on this floor, they drop 20% of all the coins they've collected. And just like that, it's a total free-for-all. The so-called hunters descend into a greedy mob, scrambling over each other for every last coin. One dude reaches for a coin but gets his hand stomped on hard. He looks up, absolutely furious at the guy who did it. The aggressor, this absolute unit of a bald guy, pulls out a dagger. He sneers, "You've got coins, don't you?" But before things get messy, Krusty raises a finger, stopping the fight. "Stop." Rule number 3, for the first 2 weeks, murder between humans is forbidden in the village area. The bald guy just clicks his tongue in annoyance and backs off, letting his target live, for now. Krusty gives the guy a chilling warning: "Get stronger in these 2 weeks, or your own allies will be the ones to take you out." Watching the humans fight over a dead comrade, Krusty is absolutely loving it. Totally worth killing them, he thinks. Pleased with the chaos he's created, he decides to offer a little special service. "Noblesse oblige," he shouts, casting a spell designed to tear apart whoever has the most coins. The magic immediately locks onto Gonyuk. Yancy screams for him to stop, but Krusty just snaps his fingers, activating the spell without a care in the world. But check this out. As the deadly energy surges around him, Gonyuk just stares back, completely unfazed. Not even a flinch. Suddenly, a massive explosion of white light erupts from the ceiling, completely shattering the demon's magic. Yancy rushes to Gonyuk's side, asking if he's okay. He just calmly replies, "Yeah." A figure in white armor descends from the light, announcing rule number 4, demons and angels cannot harm humans or compel them to act. The angel, Azazel, immediately starts chewing out the demon for not explaining the rules properly. Krusty instantly recognizes her, clearly annoyed that she ruined his fun right when things were getting good. But he just shrugs it off and decides it's time to announce the final rule. Here's the deal. Demons and angels will offer humans quests and achievements, and humans are free to choose which side they want to join. The 2 powerful beings float above the crowd, representing the 2 opposing factions that are now open for business. Krusty gives them one last piece of advice: struggle with all your might if you don't want to die. He explains that the stronger they get, the more possibilities open up, but it also means the demons get stronger too. Krusty laughs out loud, telling them to give it their all before unleashing a massive wave of energy and disappearing. Meanwhile, Azazel creates a glowing summoning circle on the floor. Immediately, a hunter runs up to her, holding his dead friend and begging her for a revive. Her reply is ice cold: "I cannot do that." The rest of the hunters swarm her, panicking and begging for info, food, and water. But while Azazel tries to deal with the mob, Gonyuk just turns around to leave. Bro has places to be. "Yancy, let's go," he says, completely ignoring the angel and all the commotion. Yanzi is totally confused, asking why he doesn't want to hear what the angel has to say, but he just tells her they already heard the rules. All we can get from her are quests anyway, he says nonchalantly. A few days later, they're at a place called the Red Star Tribe Goblin Garrison. A pair of goblin guards spot them instantly. Intruders! One goblin shouts for everyone to grab their weapons as it charges forward, screaming humans, but before it can even finish the word, its head is completely smashed in by a brutal swing. And there's Gonyuk, casually slinging a bloody baseball bat over his shoulder. Direct hit. He smirks at the other goblins. Hey, can't you guys just die quietly? I want to collect points quickly. Enraged, the entire goblin horde charges, screaming for his head. Gonyuk effortlessly dodges and weaves through their attacks, his bat becoming a blur as he cracks skull after skull. He continues his absolute rampage, spinning and smashing through the goblins with brutal, beautiful efficiency. Suddenly, he pauses. In one fluid motion, he pivots and smashes his bat into the ground, deflecting an incoming projectile. He glances up at a nearby cliff. Oh man, what a pain. There was a crossbow user. The goblin archer is in total disbelief. Was this dude a monster? Before it can even process what happened, Yanzi appears out of nowhere and smashes a frying pan into its face. She holds the pan up victoriously. I finished this one off. With the sniper taken care of, Gonyuk unleashes his full power, tearing through the remaining goblins in a storm of fury. He sends the last goblin flying with one final epic home run. But as he looks down at his bat, he clicks his tongue. It's broken. Durability is hit 0. He tosses the useless weapon aside, standing over a field of goblin corpses. Darn weaklings. Should have just died quickly. Yanzi, now holding a crossbow, can't help but comment on his strength. It's nothing special, he replies, lighting up a cigarette. He tells her to hurry up and loot the items so they can get a move on. Yanzi asks why he's in such a rush as he pulls out a holographic map. He explains that the first floor has 7 dungeons, and 3 of them are the main ones. Their target is a hidden room in the sewer dungeon called Pezaron's Cradle. This is extremely important. He turns to her, his expression dead serious. We need to get there before the others, but Yanzi isn't listening. With a nervous look, she asks a chilling question. Who are you? She presses her crossbow firmly into his back. What did you do to my big brother? Gonyuk's eyes narrow just slightly, his expression completely unreadable. She's been suspicious ever since the Minotaur dungeon, and she's finally calling him out. She remembers her real brother as a kind, gentle soul, maybe even a little bit of a coward. But this new guy? This cold, all-knowing person is not him. With tears in her eyes, she declares, "You're not my big brother." She demands the truth, pointing the crossbow right at him. Who is he, really? And Gonyuk's reaction? He just stays silent for a moment. Instead of answering, he changes the subject, asking if she remembers their time at the orphanage. What a smooth talker. He brings up a super specific memory, how she'd always cry to be next to him in group photos, making things tough for the teachers. He even remembers how he got bullied because of it by a jealous kid named Chano. Yanzi gets flustered, but she's not falling for it. She insists her real brother could never have changed this much, no matter what. Gonyuk turns to her with a serious look and drops a bombshell. In that Minotaur dungeon, I saw the future 20 years from now. He claims it was a bizarre phenomenon caused by his avatar observer. He says he saw a horrific future where he was summoned to Babel and wasted away. That trauma is what supposedly changed him. But Yanzi is way too sharp for that. She points out a huge flaw in his story. Observer doesn't have any skills that can see the future. Cornered, Gonyuk leans in and plays his ultimate trump card. The scene where you get killed by the Minotaur, that was the first thing I saw. He claims Observer showed him that specific future so he could gain the resolve to protect Yanzi, no matter the cost. He looks her right in the eyes. I promised I'd always protect you, didn't I? And just like that, he completely wins her over. She starts blushing and throws her arms right around him. Big brother, she cries, burying her face in his shoulder. I'm so sorry for doubting you. But as he holds her, his expression turns ice cold. He thinks to himself, Yanzi, you're too perceptive. Oh man, it was all a lie. In his mind, he admits, every time I regressed, I've needed to come up with a new excuse. 2 days later, the now reconciled pair dives into the nasty sewer dungeon. They're immediately ambushed by some monstrous rat men, but before the creatures can even blink, they're sliced into pieces. Holding a dead rat by its tail in total disgust, Yanzi asks how much deeper they have to go into this dump. Standing over the pile of bodies, Gonyuk says they're close and summons his avatar Observer. He activates her ultimate skill, Mind's Eye, and a massive beam of light blasts out, revealing a hidden passage in the wall. Gonyuk finds a switch on the statue. A system prompt asks if he wants to use 3 navy coins to unlock the cradle. Of course he hits yes, and the massive statue splits right down the middle, revealing a glowing portal to a secret room. Inside, they find a massive circular chamber with a glowing font. At this point, Yanzi isn't even surprised by his crazy discoveries anymore. Gonyuk just smirks. This might be a bit surprising though. He places his hand on a glowing tablet and a hidden shop unlocks. Suddenly, the room fills with holographic displays of absolutely insane items, from S-rank avatars to SS-rank treasures. Yonsei is completely stunned. Gonyuk explains this is Pezaron's cradle, a secret room that turns regular hunters into legends for the right price. He casually walks over to a machine and trades 1,500 purple coins for just 6 navy coins. The exchange rate is insane. The machine then recommends an avatar for Yonsei, a C+ rank spear wielder named Yu Nu, a recommended but weak avatar for 5 navy coins. Yonsei asks if she can get a second avatar, but Gonyuk immediately shuts her down. They only have 1 slot each. He tells her not to even think about buying the recommended one, calling it total trash compared to what she already has. Then Gonyuk finds what he was really here for, an E-rank evolution stone for a whopping 10 navy coins. Summoning Observer, he declares time to evolve and smashes that purchase button. A brand new frontier is about to open for Observer as she's bathed in a brilliant light, beginning her epic transformation. Gonyuk is presented with several evolution paths. He immediately recognizes Farseer, the Tyrant path, the one that made him the infamous Tyrant of the 12 Divine Seats in his past life, along with 2 others, Devaisiga, a warrior path, and Panopticon, a sentinel path. But after being partners for hundreds of years, he's done with that path. He reaches for a completely new, mysterious option, Game Master. His selection is locked in, and the evolution into the unknown Game Master route begins. Observer's entire form begins to shift and warp, her eye glowing a menacing red as a powerful new energy crackles around her. The evolution completes, revealing her incredible new identity, Avatar GM, the new mystery evolution. She's now a sleek figure in a top hat and mask, radiating a completely different kind of power. Alright, so they head deep into the sewer dungeon, where the final boss awaits. Meet King Radis, an absolute unit of a rat king just chilling on his throne. Behind him is a ghost doppelganger who's getting hyped. At last, a challenger has come. The massive doors swing open, and our heroes, Chu Gun-hyuk and Ha Yansi, make their grand entrance. But the ghostly King Radis is not impressed. He literally scoffs. Huh? Just the 2 of you? But even before the real King Radis can make a move, he's hit on the head with a mallet. Gun-hyuk just smirks, totally unfazed. Don't just stand there like an idiot. Come at me already, you big rat. And that does it. The taunt works perfectly. King Radis lets out a furious roar and charges in. But Gonyuk isn't backing down an inch. He meets the attack head-on, sparks flying everywhere as he screams, like heck I'm going down. The boss pulls out a special attack, Iron Flail overhead, and get this, it deals damage even if you block it. So cheap. Gonyuk knows he has to be perfect. He focuses, waits for the exact right moment, and then skillfully dodges the unblockable strike. Even the ghost boss has to give him props, clearly surprised by Gonyuk's skill. Nice moves, but that's not enough to take me on, he sneers, pulling the pin on a poison gas grenade. The room fills with thick gas. Yansi can't see a thing, and Gonyuk is already getting tired of these cheap tricks. Suddenly, the whip slithers out of the fog. It slices right into Gonyuk's shoulder, drawing blood. And it's bad news. A system message confirms he's poisoned. His HP is dropping fast, and his agility is down a whopping 30%. Gonyuk glares at the smug Rat King. He knows he needs help, and fast. Yansi immediately recognizes it as blood poison. Without a second to waste, she summons her own avatar, the powerful Shrine Goddess. She casts Detox Flower. A glowing lily appears, and its energy completely neutralizes the poison. Talk about clutch support. He's back in the fight. Gonyuk glares at the boss, fully recovered and ready for more. Come on, bring it. Seeing her chance, Yansi fires her crossbow. It's time for a little teamwork. King Radis turns, completely distracted by the noise, and that's the opening he needed. Gonyuk appears right behind the boss. Hey, you big rat, don't underestimate me. He activates his trump card. One-hit kill. The punch connects with insane force, completely obliterating the boss in a single epic blow. The system confirms the kill. Behind them, mysterious observer thinks they're impressive, but they'll never clear the Tower of Babel. But wait, it's not over. Gonyuk's avatar GM activates Mind's Eyes and starts tracking Shamandi, the king of the Great Sewers. The ghost of the real King Radis appears, looking completely shocked. He can't believe Gonyuk can actually see him. This ghost, Shamandi, starts spilling some serious lore. 400 years ago, his peaceful world was invaded by monsters. It was the same story as Earth, dungeons spawned and hunters were born. He and 6 other legendary heroes rose up to fight back, climbing the Tower of Babel to save their home. But the tower was just too powerful. In a brutal, bloody battle, all 7 heroes were completely wiped out. Because they failed, his entire world, Pezaron, was absorbed by the tower. That King Radis they just fought, just a cheap, artificial copy. He explains that his people were turned into monster templates, and their world was carved up to become dungeons for the tower. What a tragic fate. For 400 years, Babel has just been growing, invading and consuming world after world, just like his. The horrifying truth hits Yansi like a truck. If they fail, Earth will suffer the exact same fate. But Gonyuk isn't here for a history lesson. For uncovering these secrets, he gets a new title and a special reward, a white coin. Yancy has no idea what it does, but Gonyuk explains that this coin can unlock another avatar slot and hands the coin to GM. Without even hesitating, GM uses its permission expansion skill. The coin is consumed, and just like that, Gonyuk has a second avatar slot. With their business done, Gonyuk gives a confident smirk. We've got nothing left to do here. But the Ghost King isn't done. Shimandi reveals that in 400 years, they're the first people to ever see his true form. He formally introduces himself and makes a massive offer. He wants to lend them his strength to help them defeat Babel. A system window pops up with the offer of a lifetime. Gonyuk can acquire Shimandi as an A+ rank avatar. Yancy is totally blown away. Whoa, you're getting an A+ avatar for free? That's amazing. But Gonyuk's reaction is insane. He just scoffs at the offer. Yeah, nah, sorry, but I don't need a low-tier avatar. Yancy is speechless, and the once mighty Ghost King is so defeated he lets out a pathetic little squeak. The disrespect is real. As they walk away, Shimandi absolutely loses it, screaming, "Hey, wait a second, you insolent little..." Just 4 days after the summoning, Babel's first floor is already packed with hunters. Cutting through the crowd comes a mysterious hooded figure with bright orange hair. And would you look at that? It's our girl Hayonsi, and she looks absolutely determined. She walks right up to the angel Azazel and declares she's here to register for the rankings. Azazel asks for her name, but after a quick pause, Yancy requests to stay anonymous. Smart move. Azazel finds it a little weird, but just shrugs it off and confirms her registration is complete. And bam! Just like that, her anonymous entry pops up on the board in second place with 1,770 points. She's completely floored. Second place? And on top of that, she gets the ranker's blessing, boosting all her stats. The entire crowd starts whispering, "Who is this nameless ranker that just appeared out of nowhere?" Then this dude with green hair gets all up in her face, asking if she's the new ranker since he's never seen her before. His buddies chime in, realizing she's a girl, and start demanding she take off her hood. Seriously? Yancy starts to panic, thinking her brother was right. Staying anonymous is way harder than it looks. But wait, hiding in the bushes, her brother Chuganyuk is watching the entire scene go down. He summons his own avatar, Avatar GM. His order is simple but insane. He tells it to connect him to Babel's first floor and register his score. GM immediately activates its skill, Permission Expansion, basically giving him admin rights to the entire system. Suddenly, a massive system warning flashes across the sky. The rankings are being updated. Everyone looks up, totally confused. The system declares the update is coming through an abnormal route. The numbers on the ranking board go absolutely haywire, climbing at a speed that shouldn't even be possible. It finally stops, revealing a new #1 ranker named X with a mind-blowing 13,210 points. The crowd is dead silent. They can't believe their eyes. That score is more than the 2nd through 10th place holders combined. They're trying to figure out who in the world X could possibly be, quickly forgetting about Yancy. Even the angel Azazel is confused. A guy next to her asks if it is just some kind of bug in the system, but Azazel shakes her head. She realizes the score is not the problem, someone tampered with the registration itself. But she knows the real abnormality is not the hack, it is the person who actually earned that insane score. Meanwhile, Gonyuk watches all the chaos he just created with a massive, wicked grin on his face. With everyone completely distracted by the leaderboard, Yancy sees her chance to slip away unnoticed. But just as she turns a corner, she finds a huge, muscular guy lying on the ground, beaten and bloody. She immediately rushes to his side, trying to figure out what happened. The guy is seriously messed up. He weakly tells her to just leave him, but Yancy is not about to just walk away and let him die. She raises her hand to the sky, about to summon her avatar to heal him. But then she remembers her brother's warning cutting through her thoughts. Do not summon an avatar in plain sight. Suddenly, a bald dude with a seriously creepy grin grabs her shoulder. Hey, didn't you hear him, girl? Thinking fast, Yancy completely changes her tune and bows politely. Oh, excuse me, thank goodness you are here. She asks if he can take care of the injured guy, claiming she is in a big hurry. The bald man, Igor, just lets out a creepy laugh. Sure, he says, I will take real good care of him. And then he brutally kicks the wounded man right in the torso, sending him flying across the street. The onlookers immediately recognize the attacker. That is Igor the Thug, the guy who just dropped to 6th place. Realizing who he is, they decide it is best not to get involved and quickly get out of there. Igor just sneers at Yancy. Don't you get it? This guy is done for. You said you were in a hurry, so get lost. And as for his coins, he adds with a nasty grin, I will be putting those to good use. He chuckles to himself. But watch out, buddy. You messed with the wrong girl. She activates a skill, psychokinesis, and with a massive crash, Igor is slammed face first into the ground. He groans in pain, sputtering. What in the world was that? He has no idea what just hit him. Completely ignoring him, Yancy just kneels by the injured man and offers him a glowing rice ball. Igor struggles against the invisible force, but he cannot move an inch. Struggling is pointless, Yancy says coolly. She even tells him it is just a little D-rank skill she picked up recently, before turning her back on him completely. She scoffs at him. You think being a high ranker makes you special? Maybe try living a better life for once. You are really not that impressive. Now Igor is absolutely furious, snarling at her. As she walks away, he screams after her. Tell me your name, I will find you and I will kill you. Meanwhile, the injured man gratefully devours the healing rice ball, thinking that maybe this world is not so bad after all. Later, on the edge of the hunting grounds, we find a lone log cabin. This must be Igor's hideout. Igor kicks the door wide open, absolutely fuming. Get ready, Jacob. We are going hunting for that woman. He screams to an empty room that he is going to personally break her stuck-up nose. But he gets no response. He yells again, demanding Jacob answer him. Where is he? He finally turns, only to find Jacob's bloody corpse lying on the floor. And then the horrifying realization hits him. If his hideout was attacked, does that mean he's the target? He spins around, shouting, "Who did this?" And the scene cuts to Ganyuk watching the whole thing on a screen. A smug, all-knowing grin spreads across Ganyuk's face. Yep, it was all part of his master plan. Inside the cabin, Igor is freaking out. His partner's body is absolutely wrecked. He inspects the wounds, noting they were made by a hammer, a sword, a spear, and an axe. This was definitely not the work of one person. But instead of grief, a sinister grin spreads across his face. He vows, when we catch them, they won't get away with this. Suddenly, there's a noise outside. A squad of sharply dressed hunters are wandering through the woods, looking completely out of place. One of them wonders where they are, but his buddy just shrugs it off. If there are monsters, they'll just hunt them for cash. Soon enough, they stumble upon a cabin and immediately recognize it. This is the hideout of the ranker Igor. Just as they're warning each other to be careful, a hand shoots out from the shadows and grabs one of the women. And look who it is. Igor has her in a chokehold with a knife pressed right to her throat. Igor's eyes narrow as he spots their weapons. A hammer, a sword, a spear, and an axe. Wait a minute, so it was you guys, he snarls. The pieces click into place. He thinks these are the people who took out his partner. Without a second of hesitation, he goes absolutely berserk. He smashes the woman's face and slams her head into the ground, ending her instantly. Her companions are completely stunned. This guy is insane. One of them screams, charging forward to get revenge. Ganyuk's watching this whole mess on a screen. He knows Igor is supposed to be a major threat later on once he obtains his avatar Ripper. But right now, he's just an idiot. Ganyuk thinks to himself that it's only 4 days into the game. The stat difference between players isn't that big, even a ranker like Igor. He doesn't stand a chance against 4 hunters. He takes a long drag from his cigarette with a cunning smirk. He's actually curious to see how this whole thing plays out. Turns out this was his plan all along. He started a rumor that a ranker was taken down by some low tiers just to see how the others would react. A few days later, Hayonsi and Ganyuk are at the Great Temple of Toast. She tells him, remember that awful ranker I met? He's dead. She explains he got taken out by a bunch of lower tier hunters and starts talking about how people should live better lives. Ganyuk just looks back and asks, is that meant for me? Yancy gets all nervous and just laughs it off. She keeps talking, explaining that the whole vibe has changed. Now low-tier hunters are teaming up to hunt down rankers, and that's when it finally clicks for Yancy. Did you know this would happen? Is that why you told me to register anonymously in the rankings? Ganyuk doesn't even answer her. He just says, we've arrived. They're standing before the massive doors of the boss room. He gives her a quick warning that he won't be able to protect her in this fight. You can handle it by yourself, right? Yancy just beams with confidence, replying, of course. Ganyuk pulls out a sick-looking weapon, a poison-coated ceremonial temple spear. Let's go then. The huge doors swing open, revealing the boss chamber. A massive temple guardian sits on its throne waiting for them. The guardian Rajefti awakens. Its eyes glow as it begins its epic speech. Intruder, how dare you enter this great... But Ganyuk isn't waiting around for a monologue. He activates his throwing skill and launches the poison spear right into the boss's chest. The guardian stumbles back, totally shocked. This is the toughest boss on the floor, and some human just tagged him with poison. Ganyuk knows he needs to use every trick in the book for this fight. He pulls out a handful of poison caltrops. The guardian roars and lunges forward, but Ganyuk is already one step ahead. He's got a toxic tear gas grenade ready to go. The grenade explodes, blanketing the area in smoke. The boss is now suffering from 3 different types of poison. Suddenly, a poison flail whips out of the smoke, smashing the guardian and hitting it with a 4th poison from King Radis. Ganyuk strolls out of the smoke, flail in hand. Learn this from a rat, he says, but it's useful, huh? He starts taunting the enraged boss about the 4 different poisons. Feeling a little tipsy, aren't you? The guardian swings its weapon like crazy, but Ganyuk dodges every attack with ease. Hey doggy, it's walk time. His strategy is brilliant and simple. Just keep the boss chasing him around while the poison damage stacks up and does all the work. But his perfect plan is interrupted by a sudden scream. He looks over to see Yancy completely surrounded by jackals. He's distracted for a split second, but then turns back to land a massive hit on the Guardian. The Guardian sneers down at him. "You fool, to abandon your companion and come at me." But Ganyuk just smirks right back. "It's fine. I told her this would happen. Now I can focus on taking you down." The scene backs up for a bit and switches to Yanzi's POV. While Ganyuk squares up with the boss, Yanzi's stuck on mob duty, fending off a pack of vicious red-eyed jackals. She takes one down, but another 10 take its place. The shadowy beasts are relentless, swarming her from every direction. Not backing down, Yanzi unleashes her psychokinesis. She sends 2 of the monsters flying with a massive telekinetic blast. She remembers Ganyuk's words. He told her straight up that he couldn't protect her during this fight. Her mission is simple but crucial. Keep these mutts busy so Ganyuk gets the clean one-on-one he needs to win. She knows the plan. Just keep moving, don't get cornered, and buy him all the time in the world. She has absolute faith in him. As long as she holds up her end of the bargain, Ganyuk will clutch this. Meanwhile, Ganyuk is staring down the temple guardian, Rajefti. The massive boss lets out a low, menacing growl. The guardian raises its glowing green staff, power crackling as it prepares to bring the pain. But wait, something's wrong. Yancy suddenly realizes the jackals aren't just mindlessly chasing her anymore. Their movements are coordinated. They're forming a circle, cutting off every single escape route. And then, with perfect timing, the entire pack lunges at once. Her scream rips through the temple. Ganyuk's head whips around as he sees her get completely swallowed by the horde. But Ganyuk doesn't hesitate. He turns his back and attacks the boss head-on. The Guardian scoffs, calling him a fool. He thinks Ganyuk just abandoned his companion to land a hit. But Ganyuk just smirks. "It's fine, I told her beforehand. Now, I just need to focus on wiping you out." Back with Yancy, it's not looking good. The jackals are closing in, ready to tear her to shreds. Just then, a system window pops up for Ganyuk, a request to intervene. With a sly grin, he smashes yes. The jackal's jaws are inches from her throat. Yancy braces for the end, but the killing blow never comes. Suddenly, a massive figure slams down from the ceiling. The impact creates a shockwave that sends the entire pack flying. Dazed and confused, Yancy looks up at her savior. "You are..." The absolute unit of a man extends a hand. "My name is Soma Sangai. Thank you for the rice ball and the flowers." Yancy is completely stunned. It's the guy she found collapsed back in the village. The one she helped. Before she can even process it, another jackal lunges. Sangai instantly moves to shield her, becoming a human wall. He summons his avatar, the Neo Guardian. Then he activates Vajra indestructibility, and his entire body erupts in golden energy. 2 jackals sink their teeth into his arms, but it's useless. Their fangs can't even leave a scratch. Yancy can only watch in awe. Sangai just looks at them with pity before summoning another avatar. This time it's Spartacus. He unleashes the skill Revolution. A massive shockwave vaporizes the rest of the pack, and he calmly offers them a prayer. But one last jackal tries to ambush him from behind. Before it can connect, Yancy nails it with a perfect crossbow shot. "Sangai, I'll cover you," she yells. He just smiles back, thanking her for being so reliable. Watching this all go down, Ganyuk cracks a satisfied smile. Looks like he doesn't need to worry about Yancy anymore. He casually ducks under a huge swing from the boss. "Those mutts sure were intimidating," he says with zero fear. The boss is stunned by his speed, but Ganyuk just plays it off. "What can I say? I'm naturally quick." But the boss knows it's in deep trouble. The poison damage is stacking up fast. At this rate, its defeat is guaranteed. The Guardian has had enough. Looming over Ganyuk, it declares, "Playtime is over." It begins to power up, its entire body glowing with dark energy as it transforms into a much more menacing form. Ganyuk isn't even a little impressed. He just summons a brand new weapon, the giant tiger scimitar. He points the massive blade right at the boss, his eyes glowing. "Don't get it twisted," he says. "The prey here is you." The temple guardian Rajefti is actually impressed. He admits Ganyuk is learning his attack patterns at an insane, almost unbelievable speed. But the boss has already spotted a fatal weakness. He notes that Ganyuk's reaction speed and reflexes just aren't on his level yet. And just like that, Rajefti sees his opening and lunges, landing a nasty slash right across Ganyuk's chest. He starts trash-talking Ganyuk, saying it's pointless to know his moves if he's just too slow to do anything about it. Ganyuk grits his teeth, clearly feeling the damage from this relentless assault. Soma Sangai notices this, and he anxiously calls out to Yancy. He's screaming that they have to back Ganyuk up in the boss fight right now. But Yancy is cool as a cucumber. She calmly reminds him of their mission. Her only job is to deal with these jackals. She explains that as long as the Guardian is still alive, the jackals are just going to keep spawning infinitely. If they try to help Ganyuk, they'll just drag the entire mob with them and make things 1,000 times worse. So the plan is simple but brutal. They have to hold off an endless army until Ganyuk takes down the Guardian alone. Sangai is sweating bullets, clearly not convinced this is going to work out. But Yancy just gives him a confident smile, telling him to have some faith. She knows her bro is going to win this. Back at the boss fight, Rajefti scoffs at the wounded human, calling his struggles completely trivial. He unleashes a massive beam of energy, declaring that this is the end for the insolent human. But check this out. Gunhyuk just smirks. This was all part of the plan. He says, as expected, the finishing blow comes from the front. In a flash, he equips a brand new iron rapier, getting ready for the ultimate counterattack. He admits, it's true I can't keep up with your movements. Then he drops the bomb. But if you charge straight ahead, you can't dodge either. And he lunges, timing a perfect thrust right through the boss's chest. The Guardian lets out a horrific roar, the rapier impaled clean through its jaw. And Gonyuk gives it zero time to recover, pressing his advantage like an absolute savage. He activates his ultimate skill, one-hit kill, and finishes the boss with one final decisive blow. And there it is. The system message flashes, confirming their hard-earned victory. The Temple Guardian has been defeated. Sangai is completely blown away. Just like Yancy believed, Ganyuk took down the boss all by himself. That is some next-level skill and trust right there. Yancy formally introduces Soma Sangai, though Ganyuk says he already knew his name. She then asks Sangai how a strong dude like him got so beaten up. He explains it's a long story, but the short version is he was totally deceived by that snake Igor back in the hunting grounds. Yancy just sighs, calling him way too good-natured for still referring to that traitor with any respect. Sangai just laughs it off, saying there's no point in speaking ill of the dead, all while Gonyuk stays silent, just taking it all in. But inside his head, Gonyuk is analyzing his new companions. Yancy, with her insane support skills, is literally humanity's greatest healer. And Soma Sangai, with his unbreakable will and natural charisma, is known as humanity's strongest tanker, a true walking fortress. He even has a flashback to a past life where this exact man pushed his own rampaging, tyrannical self to the absolute brink of death. Snapping back to the present, Ganyuk actually thanks Sangai for keeping Yancy safe. Then, he drops the big question for the tanker, would you like to come with us? Sangai is completely overjoyed, calling it the greatest honor. Ganyuk just tells him he's being a little dramatic. Well then, Ganyuk says, shall we go collect our reward? This totally confuses Sangai, who thought they were already done. Ganyuk activates Mind's Eye. His avatar GM appears and immediately detects the true prize, the real Rajefti, hiding in the shadows. Yonsei and Sangai are absolutely floored. They had no idea there was another boss this whole time. But this was Ganyuk's master plan from the very beginning. This hidden boss was the entire reason he challenged this dungeon. He confronts the real Rajefti, a winged, armored beast perched high on a pillar. The true boss seems surprised they even found him. Ganyuk's response is pure confidence. We're the humans who are going to blow away the Demon King at the top of Babel. Rajefti calls him ambitious, but Ganyuk cuts right to the chase. I need your power for that. Come with me. The Winged Guardian actually pauses for a moment to consider it before giving a simple one-word answer, I refuse. That's a wrap on this recap. Hit that subscribe button to help us keep pumping out awesome content. Catch you in the next one.